There has been tremendous support from the local business community who have come in a big way to see that we deliver a wonderful event. For the benefit of this committee, which is seated here today, we are going to have activities that will be taking place in the various Busoga. These activities are mainly going to be telecom companies. We came up with this idea because many people may not be able to attend the main event at the church and at the reception. But as a committee, we said that this event will be relayed on all platforms. People can be able to be viewing this function, which is a very historical event, from wherever they will be. I also want to thank the chairperson for that elaborate presentation, which I'm sure as an institution we'll have to look up with our comments, additions or omissions at an appropriate time. I also want to thank the MCC for the great job that they are doing, and also thank Busoga Consortium, who led us into that was very successful and which has dawned a new in Busoga. With those few remarks, Right Honorable, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to come and inform the members here of the progress that we are making on the historical event that is coming. I also want to reiterate you and the Busoga and Ugandans that we are going to deliver a very successful event that is going to be very historical, and that has taken almost over 25 years since we had a royal wedding of its kind. I thank you. Busoga, Akwisania, Ramani.
I'm seeing the issues that are so we need to know how we are going to handle before we start off with the land. I'm seeing that the land is still a big issue because we still don't have the titles. The titles are not there. Then we have land which is encroached on. Then we have the one which is what is it? Anyway, there is a very big problem with the land. But let me allow members to contribute, but I'm seeing land as a very big issue if we are to operate. I don't know if the Ministry of Education can allow us to begin before the land is in our hands of the university. They will inform us how far can that be done. Can we start? Because we were looking at this financial year, which is beginning, because it's financial year. Yes. So can they allow us to move when the land is not in our names? Because we still have struggles of land here. But I don't know how far you have worked with Ministry of Lands We had wanted if we had known that, we would have called the Ministry of Lands, but I didn't know. Honorable Naba, because on such type of land, they can help expedite this the transfer of such titles. They have no encumbrances. I think they can help us to expedite that. But I didn't know, so I did not call her. And the Honorable Namuganza, she's also held up. But the good thing is saying they are ready. Though we are talking about the land issue, but that. So that one again, give if we are ready. Maybe if we are also to start, what is this taking up this procedure to inform this high office of education that we are ready, and where do we want us to tap, which button should we press, so that these people should know that we are ready, we need to move. I think that one you will also tell us, but I want to open to members to give us their views about your presentation. Thank you. Members, when you are given, you can again introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. My name is Mwande, and I'm the Director for Legal Affairs. I wish to thank Professor Tabuti for the achievements so far. My taking up a good one. It's very good on the issue, and that shouldn't be, as far as what I've heard, that shouldn't be a problem. And what I've seen is that there is already consent between the owners, which is the church, and Busoga, the university. So do all expediting, and this transfer fees are not much. Those are small amounts that can be completed. So as far as from the legal point of view, that is not an issue. The only issue I saw is the land, the market, old market land, which had a court issue.
Which number is that?
That one too is not a very big issue.
Which number is that?
Number 7.
37, popular 7.
Block 67, 69, old market street.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's where
No, you can speak. We are hearing.
that's where
We are live on Baba TV. So I think he wants him to come somewhere closer to the mic so that our viewers can be able to catch the sound.
Was it necessary for us to be live? Members, the task force, is it okay?
I think it's okay because we want and also to at a later stage to be able to contribute to the discussion, because this is not a private matter. It's
Okay.
It's of public interest.
Okay.
Master Blood. That one, I think, is where Professor requested for support. But from the legal point of view, I've seen two issues. One, and this would be the remedy still. One, we have what we call the freehold. The freehold owners have reversionary interests, also have the lease interest. And in the circumstances, if you were not party to the court process, so they ended up having an ex parte judgment. Unless where you think there was injustice, or you think the process was not okay, the process had issues, the court process, you can go ahead and have your counsels to apply to set the judgment aside. And if you succeed in setting the judgment aside, they can apply appeal, and maybe you are party you have your statement of defense, you part of the proceedings. But also number 2, if the lease owners can accept, which according to me is in the circumstances, you buy off their lease interests. Now that becomes an issue of negotiation. Instead of going into legal battles, you enter into negotiation and buy off. What I told you, you have reversionary interest and they have the lease interest. So you buy their lease interest, and then the land gets back to you. So you have the full what? The full ownership. So in the circumstances, amongst the fees, if you choose to go with the fees you would still need, in the other table that I saw, is for you to expedite the negotiations, value the lease interest, and have those fees included, and probably you go ahead and budget for them. I submit. Thank you.
Can I supply some?
Yes, Mr. Kayemba.
Apparently, I'll give you a little bit of how did that land become owned by Busoga University. That land belonged to Iganga District Local Government. During the period 2010, I was in the council as a councillor. The council donated that land to Busoga University. And it was originally housing the Department of Education. Busoga University took over the land reluctantly, unfortunately. They did not left it the way it was, and this was the reason that they even allowed the people to sit in there. Those people who were allowed to remain there are the people who manipulated, and eventually they became sitting tenants, and that's how they took Busoga University Limited to court, and still reluctantly Busoga University did not go to actually pursue the land in the courts of law. That's how the other guys had to win. And my thinking is that we would rather not waste a lot of time on this. That's my personal thinking. Since it was even a donation, Busoga University Limited did not take it serious. Concentrate our thinking, because that's again when we go to eat though, which may take a lot of our resources and time. Unnecessarily, we would concentrate our thinking on the land that is not encumbered, where the church is already willing, has already signed the papers. We only need money. And I listened very carefully to Professor for us to help to ensure that funds are provided to make sure that this fund transfer is actually facilitated. I think that we need to have our discussion. How do we do it? How do we bring it to the attention of the Ministry of Education? Provide these resources to transfer, to facilitate the transfer of land. Because church is no longer the problem, because they have suffered. Because this is important, particularly for the media, because they paint different pictures. But here is church is willing, has signed papers, but facilitating the process of transfer is what we need to actually try to influence. Just wanted to bring that to clarity.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Mlengani.
Madam Right Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, Right Honorable Kiana Kadama, I want to raise up to speak, but I've been intrigued by the submission of the former chairman of Uganda District, Mr. Kayemba, in regards the land at the, in the Uganda town. You know, the issue of land in this country is becoming very trivial, that people are eventually submitting to the handling of land in the manner where land is being handled. Now, this land was given to an institution that is being cherished by all the Busogas in Busoga. It would be important. The reason this time before, you, madam, very high-ranking Uganda, present their challenges, find a remedy. Where we can't find a remedy, to appropriate and allot the cause of the problem, so that people get to know the genesis of how the reluctance was and the initiation of taking away the land. Because we don't want to go into the details. Why was Busoga University reluctant? Maybe it was financial, maybe the operations because of the closures by Nche. Time and again, they wouldn't get resources to handle the development. And I would beseech this meeting to take a serious stand on that plot of land specifically, that as government, we are in government, you deal with the matter to its logical conclusion. And as you say, they take it up. Maybe we request the task force to give a detailed report on land issues about Busoga University land. Because what is contained in this report is very little for you to make decisions. In everything that has been mentioned in this report, I would request that they give a substantive report on what has occurred, what have they done, and where have they met challenges, and what are they requesting the government to intervene. I would request that. Madam Right Honorable, I've been also, I came in late, they are submitted on the issues of the courses. I happen to have attended the public hearing that was in Kampala here. And there were a lot of discussions around the courses. The courses are very good, but we had presented a lot of reasons in the interest of Busoga. And we thought that some of the issues that were raised would come out to be considered task force. I don't know the results. I didn't hear the report after the task force finished their tour of consultations. But I want to say the courses put here are extremely good, but they are extremely excluding. They are extremely excluding the peasant Busoga girl and boy of Busoga subdivision, and request the indulgence of the task force to strategically take a task force decision. Because if the failure of the outcome public hearing is that these are the causes that are paramount, I would request, and Madam Chair, this has a political connotation. Education is not education as a social service only. Education is nature. There is no way, and I submitted, that when you look at the statistics that is being released by NAB, always art subjects are being done very well, beyond the science subjects. When you look at the outcome of exams, sub-region, look at the former schools, Muiri, the science subjects we have. What science students are they leasing? Botiki. Those are the good schools. Iganga, SS. Those are the good schools that are producing the best students in the sub-region. But how much of those are comprised of sciences? Now, when you look at the people, where I come from, in Nankoma, the best school there is Nalubali. I want to ask the task force to go and visit Nalubali Secondary School. Just sample out the nature area. Now, we say these students can't afford accommodation in Kampala, but they would be able to ride bicycles from Mayuge, from Bujiri, to come and do training. Over the weekend, they're able to go back home and get replenishing meals, either posho or beans or whatever. So please, me on the issue of the academic programs that have been submitted to the National Council for Higher Education, and since Professor is here, we want you to put what they say affirmative action to Busoga, so that you are able to tap into the Busoga community as well. Whereas this is a national university, the location of universities in sub-region is not coming from the air. Mbarara has got a university, it's a sub-region. Got a university, it's a sub-region. Sorota has got a university, sub-region. Bulu, Arua, mention it. And the essence is to touch into the community in their locality. Health for our children. But how many of our children are going to qualify for these courses? How many? So I would request, first of all, as a politician, there should be political interest. We wouldn't like people eventually to start saying, balete chizimbe, baleta bantu basomera mu Waluluyi. That is what I have to say, Madam, in terms of this particular thing, report. Then I want to conclude on the reporting. I would kindly request the task force to be professional in reporting on financial matters, where you don't cause hesitation in acceptance of financial reporting. If it needs you hiring an auditor to raise financial statements since you've been put in place, kindly do that, so that you are able to report properly the flow, cash flows, and whatever you've done. You give this report you've presented here to me or to another person without explanations, they will get lost on what you say. Thank you, Madam Right Honorable, for the opportunity to speak before the congregation.
Thank you, Honorable Cold. But as he goes to sit, I think if you look at the universities we have, I just wanted to add that we have Busitema, which is also science-based. Isn't it science-based? And the universities that we have in that region. So if we are talking of Busoga, because here we are making as if it is science-based, then we Busitema, it is also science-based. No, now I'm in our region. Yes, because we are talking of somebody who is coming from Malongo in Mayuge district, somebody who is coming from Walinaibi. If you go to those islands of his, what is that, Siguru, those people who will be coming to this university, really. And secondly, our schools, the secondary schools that we have, you know, these are schools where we don't have yet laboratories, mainly to deal with science. The people are still, you know, we are still debating or requesting to come and they support us with laboratories so that children can also be well equipped with the sciences. So I just wanted to add then to what Honorable Honorable Nakato, then Chairman LC5, then Bishop. Oh, okay, thank you. In that order. That you come here, Honorable Nakato.
Thank you, Right Honorable Deputy Prime Minister. Protocol observed. By the names and representing the people of Buyenge, I'm glad that inside us I have Mr. Kaima and Bishop Eddie. I'm happy and privileged that we have some specialists that will guide us. Now to go on the point, I want to thank you for the publication and the work well done. We are proud of you people. I'm sorry I came in late because I had a health committee in Hotel Africana and I've just escaped. In this case, sometimes you protect us when we are being hit on the ground there. So right now I'm here and my region, the central region, don't know that I'm on a serious issue really hitting the home. Now back to the professor and other presenters. Thank you for the presentation. I pray that we don't recede, and this time round, me and my midwife, when a baby grows, it starts with the crawling. Now we are standing for the second time once again. I'm on a budget committee and the health committee as well. But one time I felt pain when we were receiving messages on phone from Western. I even don't know how these professors tapped our numbers. Support Moon University, support Moon University, support. And we thought that we are supporting, so all of a sudden we were blown. What am I trying to say? That I want to thank the government of Uganda that this time round it has supported it and remembered Busoga to empower or to call upon the stakeholders in Busoga University. Members, let us come and unite and fight for our chintu kyaife kibe kyaife akamuka amakaguluka kutwika enkuli. I'm sorry for those who cannot really interpret that. But what I'm saying, we should handle this. Right Honorable, we have stood to speak about certain things. One is that Busoga University, the little together with the UCU. UC, the professor was a Mzungu. And ours was a local person. What is it that Busoga University cannot do that UCU has afforded to do? And up to where they are. Secondly, I want to appreciate the staff and management of Busoga University that have been designed. Being a member of Parliament here in the district, I'm here on behalf of the rest of the members of Parliament from Busoga region. We have minerals in Buyende, we have minerals in Bujiri, Igang, and then Bujiri, if I'm not mistaken. A professor, last time when I was still, in 2016 when I was still young, there is a program that was crossing over the radio that if people go for masters in oil, in gas, in what, and people thought it was a joke. Then one region crossed over to Bulisa. That was, I think, when they were arranging the Bulisa what? Even right now, I'm on a budget committee, I went and visited. Now my task was to go and find out whether we have any Busoga boy or girl who is in Bulisa for gas and petroleum course. Unfortunately, we went on a weekend, but I left Kampala with that aim to go and count. Now I would also argue that like we have these minerals coming to Busoga, we also interest ourselves in one of the courses, because some of these courses literally get a paper and you sit in the village, but they are not marketable. No wonder we are finding people with the masters in Owino. It is a shame. It is not a shame because it's earning a living, but literally, or as an educationist expert, it is a shame. Then too, trending with respect to the religious leaders present. You can never know. Today we have Bishop Naiman, and tomorrow we shall get a very controversial bishop. This was church land. I want my compensation. I want you people to interest yourself. The land. Akataka fusa akataka. Then I overheard you lamenting the professor with due respect. How much is needed to transfer a land title? Right Honorable Speaker, I want you to implore or to interest yourself that we help the university and we make use of our daughters. We have honorable passes Namganza. Why should the university of passes and Nabakova are ministers in lands? What are the privileges that we as Busoga? Then too, you talked of 500 million as budget, and you said you wanted 9.5 billion. To the later, in accounts, I did financial management and management accounting at a degree level. I don't know so much accounting, but to the best of my knowledge, professor, they may not release this money. You all know this. For particular reasons that corruption has turned to be a vice, but we shall support. as long as I'm still a member of the committee. Pray for me, and then I maintain that. Then too, or lastly but not least, I wanted to also interest myself. Why didn't you people appear in court? But now you are on behalf. I'm not saying that much, but I'm talking categorically. Busoga University, why did it decide? Is it because you did not get informed? Were you not really, or it was deliberate?
So that the other person can take the land.
So that the person takes over. Professor, I want an answer in this. Because like I said, we have got a kind of opportunity. We have to stand for our rights. And I request you that we should get this answer. Because they are oppressing us and people thinking, if Abasoga, to revert off. You'll excuse me for using the local language, but I want to bring up what is exactly on the ground. Now, what somebody, my husband did a course in Busoga University, Peace and Conflict Resolution, with the one reverend in Bugembe called Reverend Chivenik. And we happened to get a job advert somewhere. And I heard, it is me who took for my husband, and I heard one gentleman, a professor, and said that from where? That Busoga University. And I felt pain. The image that we are calling the university right now is going to determine the materials, just like one previous speaker, Honorable Mlengan, said. Midwifery school. When you pick a student from Kamuli Midwifery School and other institutions that I will not mention in the interest not being biased in the public, sometimes you, the management and the human resource department have a criteria that somebody who is in university is incompetent, and yet they are the very modules that are taught, the people who are lecturing are competent enough, but you just find somebody creating a bias about a particular state. So I want still to encourage you people together with me that we as politicians, we shall provide a political will. There must be a political will. The head has started it. Now it is incumbent upon us, the regional leaders, to offer that political support and the will, and then Busoga University must become and must remain a university. Now about the encroachment on Kamuli land, I heard you saying security, Professor, you have to be aggressive. I was once in Waikoke. Many in Kalido are very aggressive. They are good when you're smiling. But should you touch something? So I'm wondering, why are you hiding the aggressiveness on behalf of Busoga University? Come out. Police is also understaffed. Nobody has time. And if you happen to go to Kamuli, it is now densely populated. There are now buildings coming up. So when you are a chancellor, professor, with due respect, come out aggressively. There is no any day that they are going to deploy a police officer on the land of Busoga University. So take note of this. If able, you can employ me from here and I can always come. Then I'm wondering, we don't have a member representing the Church of Uganda, but I saw much land. I'm on a budget committee like I told you before. The other day, there is a piece of land which was in Entebbe, and they told us to compensate them 2.8 billion. And it was a very early morning. Said, you people come. And they were raising dust. Why is it that we are not at Abasoga? Some of the radio person don't record this. Parliament. The government has a lot of money. They don't even need this money, but they have it. So if there is a provision, like you are saying, what? That compensation areas, we can as well negotiate with the church in case they are compensated, and we also give some money or some percentage today. Then debts of staffs and salaries. Do we have the appointment board in place? Do we have management board in place? And then the transparency. Of course, that maybe it comes due to you consider the professors present and you put them on the payroll, then the cleaners, the support staffs are not paid. Professor, it is a very wrong channel. Every person, whether support staff, whether a cleaner, whether what, must be on a payroll. I think we shall be ready to move in harmony. The image of the graduates I've already taken you through, and I gave you my example. Iganga Land Board for the land. And then lastly, I would also request that let us constitute a management board. A management board may not be you because you are a chancellor. I hope we are a chancellor. We have the human resource. We have a committee handling finance. Professor, I don't expect you to be a professor, then a chancellor, then a vice, then a human resource, then you one person. Okay. We shall have lost the what? With the due respect, allow me end here. Thank you for coming, members. We love you, and you are the eyes of Busoga University. I'm also worried. Maybe Honorable Kayemba, like, is around our office for Iganga, not here, and yet this is really so touching to the district.
They are seeing.
Thank you for coming. We wish you the best.
Katuteteganye mwemperezo eno tupeeko ne bye tukutuusaako.